The suspected Medibank hackers have released a sample of customer data. The cyber criminals obtained the information in an attack on the healthcare giant more than 3 weeks ago. This all came about at roughly 2 o'clock this morning. So let's bring in our tech expert and the editor at EFTM, Trevor Long, to elaborate on this. So bring us up to speed, Trevor. We were talking about this just yesterday, that we'd find out today whether they were serious or not. Turns out they're serious.
Yeah, we know they're real now. They've got a lot of customer data. They've revealed around 200 people's information. And when we say information, Medicare number, name, date of birth, address, phone number, and most importantly, in each case, there's a medical centre. So it might be a hospital or a medical centre listed, and then a range of diagnosis codes. And frankly, those codes aren't too hard to look up and find out what they are. And they range from anything from eating disorders to diabetes and mental health problems. Those are now available to other hackers and scammers on the dark web. They've also released, Pete, and this is fascinating, pretty much all the conversation they've had with Medibank over the last couple of weeks. So it's basically an email thread that was the negotiation. Medibank saying, prove who you are. Them saying, here's some data. Medibank saying, well, we need to look at it, and goes back and forth, a little bit of panic from the hackers. And in the end, an ultimatum of Monday that just passed, and Medibank closing it out by saying, we're not going to pay the ransom. It's not government policy, and we don't intend to do so. Acknowledging full well what impact that would have. So it's clear this is the hacker, and it's just a matter of how much more data they release and when.
Okay, so you just mentioned the correspondence there between the hackers and Medibank, and you mentioned there was some panic from the hackers. How so?
Yeah, they kind of get to the point where they're saying, listen, if you're not going to do this, we're going to release the data. They're worried that their deadline is too far out, and so they're like, well, we're going to release it anyway. And so it's very much, Medibank, it feels to me in reading it, and it's just my observation, but it's like Medibank is stretching the negotiation time and trying to buy more time in the process. There's also WhatsApp messages from the hacker to different people at Medibank, including the CEO. They've published in their documents the CEO's phone number and a WhatsApp message sent to the CEO. He didn't appear to respond, but if you remember a couple of weeks ago, Medibank said they had a threat, and it was that they would reveal 1,000 prominent people's details. That threat was made to the CEO directly via WhatsApp. 200
people so far, you mentioned there, Trevor. Have there been more threats? Will there be more to come now, do you suspect?
They've simply said that they will continue to release data. It seems to me like it's a very complex set of data, and they're actually trying to piece it together themselves before releasing it. So it's actually not something they can just dump and release. So it looks like they're going to simply piece together information and release it as they go. I don't think that they realise that Medibank is not going to pay this ransom, and it will probably get to a point now where we're going to see a lot of frauds and potential ransoms imposed upon individuals. Especially I worry about those 200 that have been released now being targeted for ransoms of their own. And if you are one of those people, do not pay the ransom. Okay,
so this is similar to what happened in Optus. So they come after you individually. That's where this is going.
That's right. So we now have 200 people's information that's essentially available to hackers, and they will now use that information to scare and worry those people into either paying a ransom or some other click. And that's what we need to talk about and avoid any conversation about from those people.
So what do you take from this correspondence, Trevor? Are these guys, are they amateurs, or do they appear like a proper outfit?
Not at all. This is a significant and sophisticated attack. They talk a little bit about the complexity of it and the kind of systems they infiltrated, and it wasn't a simple open door like it might have appeared to be at Optus. This was complex. And they also talk a lot about affiliate programs, which is basically a way of hackers funneling money through normal mechanisms that are used in the underworld, which in fact they mentioned it will cost them an extra 20% if they use those programs. So they're clearly sophisticated. They clearly have links to a lot of other scammers and hackers out there. It's sophisticated criminals they're dealing with here.
Yeah, no worries. Quite the network out there. And am I missing something on what the actual ransom was? Is there a figure in mind?
No, interestingly, they haven't revealed that part of the email chain. There is no talk of what the ransom number was.
Okay. Trevor Long, our expert there from EFTM, always across every detail as usual. Appreciate the update, Trevor. Thank you.